record in the NBA right now, the San Antonio Spurs. With Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, this is Kevin Harlan as we take a look now at our McDonald's starting lineups. The San Antonio Spurs are riding high with Bruce Bowen. Robert Horry now starts, and Tim Duncan, of course, in the middle. In the backcourt, Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. And the Los Angeles Lakers still without Kobe Bryant for a 10th consecutive game. Jermaine Jones, Lamar Odom, Chris Mihm, Caron Butler, and Chucky Atkins has taken over a lot of the Kobe Bryant scoring. And Doug Collins, one of the matchups you'll be watching tonight. Tim Duncan for the Spurs against Lamar Odom of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, Tim Duncan just quietly going about his business once again this season. His minutes are down, his stats are down, but the rest of his team has really picked up the level of their play. He is excited about where his team is heading this year. And Lamar Odom, with the absence of Kobe Bryant, so much of the offense now is run through him. And you look at the Spurs, how dominant they've been. Boy, you let the game get up over 8 or more points, they are 30-1. If the Lakers can keep the game close, Spurs only 7-9. A lot of that is because they are a team that really does not shoot free throws very well. So the Lakers hope to get them in a close game here tonight.
Our officials tonight, Joe Crawford, Blaine Reichelt, and Ed Malloy. And this is former Laker Robert Horry working on Odom, with Mihm guarding Tim Duncan, and the shot clock showing 4 for Manu Ginobili, who scoops it home.
He is playing terrific basketball. Coming off a 23-point game against Seattle, driving that ball to the basket. Frank Hamlin told us one of the keys tonight for the Lakers is keep the guards from San Antonio out of the paint. That did not happen on the first possession.
Chucky Atkins with the shot over Parker, and that ties the game. The Lakers beat Portland here by 13 points on Tuesday. They've won 2 straight games, and the San Antonio Spurs won at Seattle Monday by 19. They've won 3 consecutive games as Parker finds Ginobili for 3. And a Lamar Odom rebound. Horry guarding Odom.
Well, the reason Horry is in the game is to guard Odom because of that matchup with his quickness and size. Odom poses so many problems. When he's hitting that outside jumper, you got to come out and play him. And then he puts that ball on the floor and gets to the basket.
A hand check on the wing, and the foul goes on Chucky Atkins for the first time. San Antonio at 37-10. As we mentioned before, the number 1 team in the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Lakers, dug 24 up and 19 down. And I think people without Shaq and now without Kobe probably would say that's not a bad record at this stage of the season.
Absolutely. I think that's why there was so much shock when Rudy resigned. This is not a team that's been underachieving. Duncan with a strong move and nice contest by Chris Mihm, but at 24-19 with the injuries, I think everybody expected them to be sort of where they are right now, 7th spot of the West.
The Lakers right now in 7th in the West, as Doug just said, and so that's where they stand, but they're very close. In fact, there are probably 3 slots for 4 teams in the bottom half of the Western Conference, so the Lakers will be in a dogfight to make the playoffs all season long.
Yeah, tough stretch coming up here too, Kevin, and 24 of their last 38 games are on the road. They start a 5-game Eastern trip after tonight's game. That's why this getaway game is so important. And there's Frank Hamlin. We had a chance to talk to Frank. He's the acting coach here, and he really doesn't know how long it's going to be. Is it going to be a day, a month of the season? But very qualified, 35 years in this league. Has seen and done it all.
Nice fadeaway by Tim Duncan, who hits his first shot tonight. And we are tied at 4. Lamar Odom, we had that offense of Miami always go through him. It looks like tonight the Lakers want the offense to go through him against San Antonio.
Well, what did Greg Popovich tell us before the game? He says, the place I worry about Odom more is when he catches the ball at the top of the floor. We've already seen a jumper, a couple of spinning dribbles to get into the lane. Odom off to a great start, as is Ginobili with that little floater. Kevin, we talk so much about the Spurs' ability to score in that lane, and so much of it is their guards. It's just not Tim Duncan. That's why the guards, the penetration has been terrific for San Antonio.
And outside, a beautiful shot by Caron Butler. And he's got his first 2. Both teams have shot very well to start the game. San Antonio 3 of 5. And the Lakers 4 of 5 as Tony Parker got the assist from Ginobili.
That was a terrific pass. I don't even think Parker saw that coming. He just sort of put his hand down there, and it was right on the money from Ginobili. Those 2 guys are playing brilliantly together.
Mihm is guarded by Tim Duncan. These 2 teams can't miss.
Well, he's playing very well. Chris Mihm, he's the last 3 games, he said he's starting to get his legs back again. He had a little bit of a calf injury, but he's coming off a game where he blocked 5 shots, had a double-double.
Mim is on Duncan. And the shot clock is down to 5. A quick double by Butler. And Tim Duncan is 2 of 3.
One of the things about the Spurs this year, they're a much more efficient offensive team. In the past, they've struggled to score. That's not the case this year. They're shooting 46% from the floor, Kevin, and they're averaging 97 points a game.
Butler picked up by Ori.
Wow, that basket is so big right now, you might be able to get one to fall. Coach, we need to get you out there and get that jumper of yours off tonight.
I get 2 to fall.
I don't get crazy on it.
Parker got a screen that opens up his shot. Duncan set the screen. Atkins grabs the rebound. Lakers are +2 in rebounding. There's a steal by Tony Parker into Chucky Atkins and floats in.
Well, the Lakers have to be careful taking care of the basketball. Frank Hamlin told us before the game he wants them to cut down on any careless turnovers. Felt like early in the year they've made some of those. That was a careless possession.
We've had 6 early ties in this ball game. Each team is led by as many as 2. Mim, and doubled by Parker with his second steal in the last couple of plays, with Bowen coming the other way and finding Duncan.
Bank shot coming, you can feel it.
That's his spot.
There it is.
And that's his shot.
You just know when he gets at that angle. That's the first 2 points of the game outside the painted area for San Antonio. So they've gotten off to a great start. 12 points in the paint of their 14.
Tim Duncan leads all scorers with 6. Brent Berry sets the check in for San Antonio. Here's Lamar Odom. And off to Chucky Atkins. With the mismatch on Parker, Odom dives inside. The rebound by Bruce Bowen. And Parker, for this dribble penetration by the San Antonio Spurs, Doug, has been such an incredible weapon for this team all season long.
Well, now they're not a team that just has to throw the ball into the post. They can spread you and they can drive it into the gaps is what they're doing. You've seen Parker do it. You've seen Ginobili do it. Barry can do it. Devin Brown. And with the new rule changes where you can't put your hand on a dribbler, San Antonio's taken tremendous advantage of that. There's going to be a timeout here, but Greg Popovich has to be very happy with all the turmoil that's going on here.
And then first and foremost, you're from Philly. What's your prediction? What's your prediction?
The Eagles are going to win the game. You know, I love champions. You know, I love the Patriots. But I got to roll with my boys.
I hear you. Okay. Now the initial shock of Rudy T stepping down is basically over for you guys. Mentally, where's this team at right now?
Everybody's okay. You know, it was a tough couple of days for everybody. And everybody's concern was first and foremost Rudy and making sure he's okay. You know, that being said, we still have a job to do. We have a huge task at hand, and it's important for everybody to stay focused on that.
You know, he told me yesterday after the press conference that he had a really special relationship with you on and off the court. What will you miss about him?
You know, just his passion that he had for the game every day. You know, he the same type of passion he had for the game, he had for life. I mean, he's just a great human being, just a great person, and yeah, we're all going to miss him.
You know, Gary Vitti said that he's slowly increasing your workouts. When do you think you might be back, and how's your ankle feeling?
Hopefully soon. My ankle's doing a lot better. You know, it's better now than it was, so that's a good sign. You know, I'm able to work extremely hard, and the next day it's not as sore, so that's a great sign.
I have to ask you this question because Phil Jackson's name has been in the newspaper about possibly coming back. And if he did, would the second time around be more interesting?
You know what? You know, I've always respected him as a coach. I think he's incredible. And, you know, my job here on this organization is to make sure that we play well, you know, as a team, as far as my teammates having the confidence and, you know, and me trying to lead them, you know, in the locker room and on the floor. And, you know, Mission Dr. Bus, they call the shots upstairs.
Chris Mim picked up a foul the last time out there. Brent Berry is now in for San Antonio, joining Bowen along with Tony Parker and Robert Horry. The Los Angeles Lakers still have their starters in there. Leading scorer with 6 points is Tim Duncan. And Chris Mim over Duncan. You know, Mim has had 3 consecutive games, Doug, of double-doubles. He's been playing well.
Well, he is playing very confidently. You take Tim Duncan in that post, one of the better defenders in the league. He's just getting his rhythm. And 2 jump hooks he's made now look very nicely doing it.
Parker feeds Ori across the lane for the Spurs, who have won 3 consecutive games, 7 of their last 8. Lakers have won 2 consecutive games overall, but not one time this season have they won 3 in a row. As Ori fouls Odom, working on the baseline, and the Spurs enjoying their biggest lead tonight of 4. Keys for tonight.
But Kevin, I did something a little differently tonight. I picked out 4 areas that the Spurs dominate during the course of a game. Plus 19 points in these 4 areas, from the three-point line, points in the paint, fast break, and points off turnovers. The Lakers in those same areas are -1. So as the game goes on tonight, we'll keep our eye on those 4 areas. One of the things that's jumped out here real quickly to start this game is 14-4 points in the paint already for the for the San Antonio Spurs. So the Lakers have got to do a better job of closing down that lane area and forcing the Spurs to make some jump shots.
Robert Ori just picked up his first foul. The back end of 2 is put in by Odom for Coach Frank Hamlin. Odom now has 5 in the game. San Antonio has beaten Los Angeles twice already this season. Once here and once in Texas as Duncan lasers it inside, looking for Parker, deflected out of bounds with the shot clock showing 12.
See Malik Rose in the game early. He's not seen a lot of action since he had a little incident in the game where he pulled his jersey up over his head. I think we have tape. We maybe show that a little bit later. Pop has let him sit there for a couple days and think about that back in the game here, and see Bowen unloaded for this 3.
Neither team has hit a 3-point shot as of yet. And here comes Odom to Atkins to Caron Butler, who played at UConn and over Brett Baird. Rebound inside, collected by Bruce Bowen, who had a career high, regular season high here a couple months ago of 24 points against the Lakers for the Spurs. And Tony Parker has started 3 of 4 from the floor.
He's playing in such a great rhythm. You know, you can just tell when a guy has great confidence. He's not forcing anything. He gets in the lane. He's not turning the ball over, hitting that little jump shot, running his team. He has really matured into one of the top point guards in the league.
Here is Mim, picked up by Duncan.
There's another turnover. Let's see if they cash in on it.
And Parker the other way, rejected by Odom. Picked up by Malik Rose, and San Antonio controls in a game which has had 2 lead changes and 6 ties so far. Duncan. And a 3 by Barry, who won the 3-point shooting championship a couple years ago. Odom with the rebound. Lamar Odom, one of the top 10 rebounders in the NBA. Mim, a little bit too far outside. Jermaine Jones. Mim.
Well, as Duncan came over to give help, Mim does exactly what you're supposed to do. You go to the front of that rim, he's rewarded. So Mim off to a terrific start. We've seen a couple jump hooks, a tip in. He's 3 of 4. He's got 6 points here early in the game against one of the better defensive big men in the league in Tim Duncan.
San Antonio shooting 56%. Bowen sneaking inside and wheeling around Odom.
Well, that's an area of his game he's really worked on. The last couple years, he's spotted up and shot 3s. Now he's starting to put that ball on the floor, create some shots for himself.
And look at Odom do the other way, just the same against Malik Rose.
Again, right at the top of the floor, and that's where Popovich talked to us before the game. He said, I'm concerned about Odom with his quickness. We've seen him score 3 times from that.
Leading scorer is Tony Parker with 8. 7 by the Lakers. Lamar Odom leads Los Angeles. San Antonio's been very efficient, Doug. 6 assists with 10 made baskets. 6 assists and just 1 turnover. Tony Parker over Atkins.
It's a nice little matchup to watch. Chucky Atkins has been playing spectacular basketball since Kobe Bryant has been hurt. His number is sky high.
Tony Massenberg is in for Tim Duncan. That's the only change out of that timeout for either team. And Lamar Odom working inside on Rose. And twice now, Doug, he has beaten him.
Well, what he's done is he goes to that left hand, and you try to make him go back right. And when he spins, he's got too much extension for Rose. So they put Rose in the game to try to slow him down a little bit. No one right now has a handle on Odom. He sort of has his way right now on the court.
And here's Rose, uncovered outside, and nails her.
I'm sure Malik Rose is happy to be back out there playing basketball once again. We talked a little bit about it, the incident where he lost himself and pulled his jersey over his head, gave up a fast break basket. Pop didn't say anything to him. He just let him set for a couple games. And here's Odom once again. He's got it on cruise control right now. This is the Lamar Odom the Lakers were hoping to get when they traded for him in the Shaquille O'Neal deal. Now what he's going to have to do is he and Kobe are going to have to blend their talents better together. They have not played great basketball together, Kevin.
This is Bruce Bowen with a 3. Rebounded offensively by Tony Parker. Screened by Massenberg, and a floater inside by Tony Parker, who now has a game high, or a Spurs high, 10 points. There's a game high 11 so far for Lamar Odom.
Spurs do such a good job of splitting those double teams when they come off that screen roll, getting in that lane, that little floating shot.
Massenberg on Mim, and a foul on Tony Massenberg. The basket will not count.
And we've spoken a couple times about the Rose play. This is the play that happened the other night. He turns the ball over against Sacramento. Watch what happens. He pulls his jersey up over his head, doesn't get back on defense. Darius Sangaila gets by him and he dunks the ball. You know he knows what he did was wrong. Pop didn't even say anything to him. Let him sit for a couple games, and now he's back playing, trying to get back into the good graces of this Spurs team.
Jermaine Jones with the 3. Good offensive rebound by newly instated Brian Grant. Nice defense by Ginobili, who's back in the game for the San Antonio Spurs. And here's Tony Parker. Lakers do have a foul to give. Ginobili had it knocked away by Grant. Retrieves it inside. Gets it out to Brent Berry for 3. Massenberg with an offensive rebound. And he traveled.
Well, Tony Massenberg has been a great addition to this team. Last year, remember, cut by Sacramento late in the season, was not put on the playoff roster. Obviously very disappointed about that. Was very pleased the other night when he had a chance to start against his old team. He's played for 12, so I guess there's I better specify that was Sacramento.
That's a league.
That was half of the NBA, but talk about a guy who just comes to work every day and is prepared to come in and do what's necessary for this team.
Undrafted Tierra Brown out of McNeese State is in the game. As Rose sticks on Odom, Brown sheds Parker and goes inside on Massenberg. The Spurs have led by as many as 5. Lakers have led by as many as 2.
Now, shot clock is turned off. Keep your eye on either Ginobili or Barry. They're going to take the foul here, but on penetration, Barry and Ginobili, excellent three-point shooters, and Parker knows exactly where they are on the floor.
Brown picks up the foul. Robert Horry is set to check in for the San Antonio Spurs. And he'll take the place of Tony Massenberg.
And here's another three-point shooter. So now they have Horry in the game, Ginobili, and Barry is their three-point shooter. So any penetration by Parker could lead to a three-point shot by one of those 3 guys.
The shooting has been over 50% by both teams. Rejected by Grant on the play by Parker. And that takes us to the conclusion of the first quarter over the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers in the wake of Coach Rudy Tomjanovich's resignation. And that is the San Antonio leader with 10 points. Tony Parker, a game-high 11 by Lamar Odom as we start the second quarter.
And 8 of those points by Tony Parker in the lane. 12 of the 20 points by San Antonio by their guards. Points in the paint. So penetration really hurting the Lakers.
And there's a foul on Tierra Brown. We're going to call it on Caron Butler. Let's see. Butler picks it up.
And he moved on the screen.
He did.
Got that shoulder out as the dribbler went by.
So San Antonio coming in at 37-10. Los Angeles at 24-19. Parker, Rose, Ginobili in there with Massenberg and Brent Berry. There's an offensive rebound by Ginobili, who finishes nicely inside. He has started 3 of 6.
He is so much fun to watch. I know Charles Barkley's back in the studio talking about Ginobili. He's already said if he doesn't get chosen to the All-Star team, he's not going to Denver, Charles said. So putting a lot of pressure on the coaches to choose him as a reserve.
Here's Lamar Odom. Rebound by Rose. Luke Walton is in with Odom. Tierra Brown, Grant, and Caron Butler, the Laker 5. That sets the lineups to start this second quarter from Los Angeles. The Lakers are the 7th team right now in the West. San Antonio is number 1 right now in the Western Conference. There's a 3-second violation called. Lakers are 5 games over 500.
See little Luke Walton here tonight. Luke has not played a lot. Had a big game the other night. Had 19. Has struggled a little bit with an ankle injury, but we spoke to Frank Hamlin before the game. He said, I'm trying to get a little bit more of a rotation, and I'd like to get Luke Walton out there.
Now Devin Brown in for the first time for the San Antonio Spurs. Walton tried to spoon feed Brian Grant, guarded by Rhodes.
Luke Walton is an excellent passer, sees the floor so very well. I think that's the best aspect of his game. He just got a very, very good feel.
In that first quarter, San Antonio led by as many as 5. The Lakers had an early 2-point lead. A lot of ties in that first quarter. Walton knocks it away and draws a foul as he guards Ginobili on top. First on Luke. Tim Duncan will come back in the game, and they'll take out Tony Massenberg. The minutes played by Duncan is always a topic of concern with Coach Greg Popovich of the Spurs.
Well, he's down to 35 minutes a game this year. The team is blowing people out. He's getting a chance to rest a lot in the fourth quarter, so his minutes are down.
Ginobili to Rose and rejected by Walton and picked up by Odom. Ahead to Brown and off to Butler. Into Devin Brown, and that is a foul on Caron Butler. Nice defensive play by the San Antonio Spurs, Devin Brown.
Nice block here by Luke Walton to trigger the fast break. The throw ahead, here's Butler, and there's Devin Brown doing a nice job getting himself set and taking the offensive foul. But to get back to Duncan, I think one of the things that as the season goes on, you're going to see his minutes go up a little bit, especially as the season winds down, to get him fresh for to get him really ready for the playoffs. But he played all summer, and so if he can rest him during the season, what a tremendous asset that's going to be for the Spurs.
Ryan Cook is in the game for the first time, and he just picks up a quick foul for Los Angeles. It's a big man who likes to take a lot of threes. Cook, number 1. And now Beno Udrih is coming in for the San Antonio Spurs and taking the place of Tony Parker as you take a look at the numbers this season for Tim Duncan.
Well, second most double-doubles, his blocks, second rebounds, third. His scoring is down a little bit, but again, Ginobili's numbers are up, Parker's are up. The supporting cast is better, and Tim Duncan is enjoying every second of it.
Beno Udrih with a nice pass to Tim Duncan.
You get Udrih in the game now. This young guy is going to be playing in the rookie-sophomore game. He's very, very excited. But once again, Greg Popovich and his staff able to go through the draft. You get a Tony Parker, you get a Ginobili, then you come back and get an Udrih. 3 young guys that should be locked and loaded for their perimeter for a long time.
Butler around Duncan. Counted for 2. Ron Butler now doing some nice scoring here in this second quarter. He's got 6 for the game. San Antonio shooting 50% and the Lakers 59% from the floor.
Well, that will not please Greg Popovich. He does not like to see those numbers up when a team shoots over 45%. It really upsets him.
Ginobili with the defense by Butler. A rebound is yanked down by Tierre Brown. Butler dropped it. Duncan is there to meet him. Oh, wow. Oh, Duncan holding on to his left knee.
Oh, boy. Oh, let's hope this is not anything serious. Oh. Oh. Kevin, you're going to have to watch this because I can't watch this. I had a knee injury and stuff like this. I just cannot watch. So you'll have to tell me exactly what happens.
He moved backwards, Coach, as he fell into his left knee.
Oh, boy. So let's just hope and pray that that's nothing serious.
They examine Tim Duncan. We will take a break here from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. He has gone to the San Antonio locker room after this play. A lot of congestion inside the lane. And as the Laker was falling backwards, he fell right into Tim's left knee. Now, back in the 2000 season, Tim had a torn left lateral meniscus that he suffered in April of 2000 in Sacramento. Underwent surgery on that left knee in May. Did not play in the playoffs for San Antonio in that 99-2000 playoff series and was out. That is the same knee. We're a couple of years removed from that. There's a lot on the mind now of Coach Greg Popovich, the fourth winningest coach of all time. Helped that way with one of the premier players of all time, Tim Duncan.
Yeah, Tim Duncan is everything right about this NBA. Let's hope that that's nothing more than a tweak and that he'll be able to, if not tonight, return real soon. But I can tell you right now, as a coach, Greg Popovich, it's going to be very hard for him to keep his mind on the task at hand because your franchise is back there in the locker room. You see Kobe, who's missing his 10th game with an ankle injury. But your mind goes back to just hoping everything's all right. That's how seasons change.
So now Massenberg comes back in the game. Udrich at the point. Ginobili with the ball. Rose and Devin Brown, the five out there for San Antonio. They've led most of the game and by as many as five. Ginobili. Wide open is Rose on a good pass by Ginobili. The defensive rebound by Brian Grant. Leading scorer in the game with 11 points is Lamar Odom for the Lakers. Spurs led by the 10 of Tony Parker. Brown over Ginobili. Rebound by Massenberg.
You got to make Tierre Brown make jump shots. He wants to drive and get all the way to the basket. So make him pull up and shoot those shots if you're the Spurs.
Malik Rose into Brian Cook, who picks up his second personal foul.
Brian Cook has been a real surprise this season for the Lakers. I don't think anybody expected him to shoot the ball the way he has, shooting almost 40% from the three-point line. That time he got caught laying behind in the post and got the foul, so Malik Rose will go to the line and shoot two.
Jermaine Jones comes in for Caron Butler. Rose at the free throw line is a 67% free throw shooter. Tomorrow night on ESPN, the Indiana Pacers will host the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves take on the Phoenix Suns. Saturday on NBA TV, Orlando and Cleveland. That's not right. It's not Minnesota and the Suns, is it? It's Minnesota and Houston. Sunday on ABC, it's the Lakers at Houston. Doug, you got to check these cards before you hand them to me. I just read anything they put in front of me. Here's Tierre Brown.
Well, at least you're coachable.
Yeah, that's right. Did Phoenix put a spanking on Minnesota last night?
Wow, had them down by 40 at home, 91-51 at one point in time of that game.
Ginobili to Massenberg.
I tell you, Massenberg, I know I've said this before, but for the young players, this guy has just worked hard every single day to keep himself in this league. He's found him a nice little niche here in San Antonio coming off the bench.
Neither team has hit a three-point shot. Grant from two, Rose with the rebound. Lakers have a couple players with two personal fouls. That's about it. Udrich runs into Cook. Shot clock at 6 for Malik Rose.
Well, Malik Rose really is ready. Yeah. He's ready. He came in tonight, and we chronicled the little move he made against Sacramento. He's come back and played terrific basketball tonight.
Rose with 6, and the biggest lead of the San Antonio Spurs, the 6 is now wiped away as Tierre Brown goes weaving inside. You see Tim Duncan, he is at the knee check. He is walking back out onto the floor as his teammate Malik Rose takes to the rack for 2.
You can see what Greg Popovich has done. He's gone to a very small, quick lineup with Duncan out of the game right now. Massenberg and Rose in there as the forwards with Ginobili, Udrich, and Devin Brown. This is a very quick and athletic, aggressive team.
Brian Cook, who played at Illinois, goes crashing into Massenberg. As we stand right now, 5th all time.
Well, that Chicago Bulls team won 72 games, 72-10. That was with Michael Jordan, obviously Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson. That Laker team, 33 straight wins they had that year. They won 69. So some really outstanding teams. And San Antonio has put themselves sort of in that echelon of teams, plus 11. That just tells you how dominant they have been this season.
And let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin and Doug. Maybe you can get a shot of Tim Duncan, who's on the bench right now. I was told officially it's a hyperextension of his left knee. He has a heat pack on it trying to keep it loose. And Doug Collins, I know exactly how you feel. I tore my ACL, and seeing something like that leaves a really lasting impression. Not a good one.
No, Cheryl, I can't even watch the replay.
And there's a charge. It's on the San Antonio Spurs. It's on Manu, who picks up his first personal foul. Malik Rose has been terrific since coming off the bench. Doug, he has played 11 minutes. He has scored 8 points. He has grabbed 4 rebounds. And with Tim Duncan now, and you can see a little story there on the surgery back in the spring of 2000, just before the playoffs. There is ample concern about that. Mim is in for Brian Cook, who picked up his 3rd personal foul. Tierre Brown at the point, deflected by Rose, who is all over the floor. Lamar Odom is back in for the Los Angeles Lakers. Odom has a game-high 11. Parker leads the Spurs with 10. And that shot missed by Udrich. Chris Mim. Rebound by a newly instated Bruce Bowen. San Antonio has won 7 of their last 8, 3 consecutive games, and they've beaten the Los Angeles Lakers twice. A long touchdown pass to Tierre Brown. Lamar Odom got the assist.
Little sloppy play by San Antonio right now. The Lakers doing a better job defensively. They need to be able to find some ways to create some turnovers and run. It's interesting. They're 30th in the league in steals and forced turnovers, which is dead last.
Tierre Brown, little tie-up right there. They called the jump ball, and on this play moments ago, Tierre Brown, who put in 2-6 for the quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, when you play against the Spurs, you've got to be able to get some easy scores. Kobe likes what he sees, but again, on the season statistics, Kevin, I was shocked. The Lakers are dead last in steals and forced turnovers. This is a more athletic team. They've got to find a way to start pressuring some teams and getting some easy baskets. Team that shoots almost 23 threes a game has only taken 2 tonight.
And Malik Rose with the miss. Rebound by Chris Mim. Mim grabs his 3rd rebound. The other end, Jermaine Jones continues. And a deft move inside, drew the defense away. And a nice assist for Luke Walton. And the Los Angeles Lakers, down moments ago by 6, have crept to eventual playoff season of April and May.
Well, you could see 14-2, 6-1 one year, 8-1 the other. Now, it's an interesting break in the schedule. They play Seattle and L.A., obviously L.A. tonight. Then they go home to practice, and they go to Charlotte on Monday, and they play Charlotte Tuesday night and then Washington Wednesday. So as I look over at Duncan sitting over there, obviously the longer he sits, the more it makes me think we might not see him anymore tonight, because they don't play again until Tuesday. And I know that Pop is going to err on the side of caution with him, so we'll have to see what happens in the second half.
Robert Horry is checked in. That's Bruce Bowen going over Walton, who grabbed the missed shot by Bowen. Leading scorer, 11 points, Lamar Odom. He's also grabbed 5 rebounds. And for San Antonio, the high point man, 10 points to Tony Parker. The bench of the Spurs, 10 points. The bench of the Lakers, 8 points so far, Jermaine Jones. Robert Horry. Tony Parker, who has 3 assists and no turnovers so far in the game.
Kevin, again, this Laker team averages almost 23 threes a game. They make 8. Tonight they've attempted 2. There's a little jump hook by Horry that's way off. They've only attempted 2. The previous 2 games against San Antonio, the Lakers were only 8 of 33 from 3, so the Spurs have done a nice job taking away a 3-point shot, which is a big strength.
Lakers 57% plus from the field. As Lamar Odom has a game-high 13 points.
When he's up at the top, you cannot let him go to that left hand. You've got to make him go right and not let him spin back to that strong hand.
San Antonio shooting 46% from the floor. Another rebound by Chris Mim. Lakers on a 6-0 run. 3 from newly instated Chucky Atkins, who in the wake of Kobe Bryant's injury has averaged about 20 points a game. Spurs have missed their last 5. Tim Duncan is on the bench with a knee injury. Tony Parker with the shot clock showing 4. Massenberg over Jones is Brown nailing a three-point shot. The first three-point shot made by either team tonight.
1 of 7 now for San Antonio, but the Lakers did everything right on that possession.
It's Odom climbing inside, a San Antonio foul, and it's on Robert Horry. Horry picks up his second personal foul.
Excellent defensive possession by the Lakers. A hand in the face by Jermaine Jones, and Devin Brown, you see, hits the shot as that shot clock is going down. So Franklin Hamlin will live with that kind of defense. Ball stays out of the paint. You force a tough shot. Devin Brown just knocked it down as the shot clock wound down.
Spurs have led by 6. The Los Angeles Lakers have led by 2. Knocked away. Brown with the defense. Ginobili racing the other way. 9 Los Angeles turnovers. Brown again launching a 3. And picked up by Bowen. Vacuums it in. Can't hit it, but saves it. And a fresh 24-second shot clock.
Lakers have to dig in right now. They've played an excellent half. They do not want to allow the Spurs to end this quarter strong to push this lead.
That's the offensive rebounding story. Overall, San Antonio +4 in rebounding tonight. Ginobili uncovered. Odom did not get on him.
How good was that? I mean, he just started going the lane, the behind-the-back dribble, and the step back, the unorthodox move by Ginobili. What a pretty play.
Here comes Atkins.
Right now the Spurs on a 5-0 run to end this quarter after the Lakers had tied it. Trouble again, another turnover.
Lakers have a foul to give. And here comes Tony Parker. An Horry screen. And the dribble penetration, which we have seen all season by this San Antonio team.
Well, the new rules, that's what you want to do, dribble penetrate. Here's the 3 that does not go. So the Lakers in a great situation here. Shot clock is turned off. They should go in no worse than 5 down, possibly 2 or 3 with a field goal.
Lakers have not been very efficient, though. 6 assists and 10 turnovers. Atkins, and now Lamar Odom. Into a very nice defensive-minded ball. It's slammed in by Chris Mihm. With 1.6 remaining, Parker will try to beat the buzzer. Nope, does not get it off to Ginobili in time, which takes it. And that conversation took place about 3 minutes ago. His decision is to put Duncan back out there with Bowen and Parker. Ginobili and Horry. The starting 5 is back out there for the San Antonio Spurs as Atkins tried to chisel his way in. He was shoved by Tony Parker. The Los Angeles Lakers out there dug with Jermaine Jones and Odom with Caron Butler, Mihm, and Chucky Atkins.
Well, I think you can see what Duncan means to this team, the winning percentage, the championships, all he brings, and I'm sure it's good for Tim to get back out there after tweaking that knee.
And it's Chris Mihm and a rebound by Bowen.
And just get himself back into the flow of things.
San Antonio has the best record in the NBA. They're 37-10. Lakers are 5 games over 500, 24-19. This is the 10th game that Kobe Bryant has missed with the injury. Ginobili hits the game's second three-point shot, and they both have been authored by the Spurs.
Well, you heard Charles Barkley talk about it in the studio. You take Tim Duncan off that team, it's a very average team. All of a sudden, the ball goes in the post a couple times, you kick it out, and Ginobili's got a wide-open three-point shot.
And Caron Butler working in on Bowen. And in the feed to Odom. Mihm has it. Shot clock at 4 for Caron Butler. Mihm taps it back in. He got position on Robert Horry.
Excellent effort that time on the offensive backboard. You're not going to shoot a high percentage, get yourself 2 or 3 shots at the basket. Right now, the Lakers shooting a high percentage, well over 55%.
Lakers have led by a total of 2 points for only 84 seconds of this game. That was back in the early stages of the game, back in the first quarter. Aside from that, it's been all San Antonio. Duncan doubled, sandwich between Mihm and Atkins, and the rebound by Odom. Lakers have lost 2 games this season to San Antonio. Once here and once in Texas, and that is a toss away and a turnover, the 11th for the LA Lakers. 3-on-2, Parker to Bruce Bowen.
You got to stay off that baseline. That's exactly where Odom was funneled. The Spurs trapped him. No place to go. Turned it over. Points off turnovers. That's one of the things we talked about before the game. The Lakers got to take care of the basketball. He's on that baseline once again. He's in trouble again. This time he gets a shot blocked. That's where the San Antonio Spurs push it defensively.
Shot clock at 3, and twice they go at Tim Duncan. Twice he comes up with a piece of the ball. He is the second leading shot blocker in the NBA coming into tonight. Nice pass. Parker to Tim Duncan. What a pass by Tony Parker.
Well, Frank Hamlin's going to have to take a timeout. This is what good teams do. They come right out at halftime, get a little surge on you. Chucky Atkins is going to get a timeout.
Well, sure. It's been an emotional 4 days. Last weekend, we had a coach for the next 5 years, and here it is on Thursday, and we don't have the coach we thought we were going to have. And Rudy had a conversation with the players yesterday, and it was an emotional conversation. So I'm concerned about Rudy. I know he feels better today than he has, and I think our players are going to recover.
Were there any warning signs that he was going to step down at all?
That he would step down, no. But looking back on it, you always see a couple of things that had you known, you'd say, oh my goodness, he is feeling the pressure of being a coach here in the NBA. But there really was no red flag.
Obviously, Phil Jackson's name's being tossed around. Have you had any dialogue with him, and is that really a possibility?
Well, anytime a name like Phil Jackson's available, it's a possibility for anybody in the NBA. And certainly because of his relationship with this organization, that'll be a name that'll be talked about. We have not had any contact with Phil.
What direction would you like to see this organization go towards?
I think we'd like to just, let things settle down a little bit. Frank Hamlin has done an incredible job with this team. And if we can get through tonight, perhaps be competitive, maybe win the game, and get through a tough road trip, I think we'll have a better feel on what we want to do. Things will settle down a little bit, and it'll just give everybody a chance to step back and take a look at the big picture.
All right, thanks for your time, Mitch.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Let's send it back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you very much, Cheryl. We're approaching 8 minutes to play in this third quarter. And moments ago, the San Antonio Spurs had their biggest lead of the game, 8. There is a foul on Caron Butler, which is the third on him. And that is the most, along with Brian Cook, of any players in this game. Tony Parker is having a sensational game. 10 points, 6 assists, 3 steals, no turnovers, a Duncan screen, a Bowen shot, an Ori offensive rebound.
Again, second shots. Now that is the 10th offensive rebound. The Lakers have turned it over 11 times. Those two areas causing them a lot of problems. And there's the guy you talked about, Tony Parker, just slashing his way into that lane area. We saw him start the game this way. Had 8 points in the first quarter in the paint. Started out the third quarter the same way.
Game high 13 points by Lamar Odom of the Los Angeles Lakers. There is a foul on Tim Duncan. There's the points in the paint story right there. That's the second on Duncan, who has not grabbed a rebound, surprisingly, tonight. He was hurt with about 8:40 to play in the second quarter. Hyperextended his left knee. He's come out to start the second half. Lakers have not led since 12-10 early on. There's a turnover by Atkins. A 3-on-1 the other way. Ginobili spoon feeds Tony Parker. Those two work so great together.
Those two guys got a great synergy with one another. They bring out the best in each other. It's almost like there's 3 of those guys out there instead of 2.
So in the wake of Laker coach Rudy Tomjanovich's resignation, the Los Angeles Lakers playing tonight. But this is the third game without Rudy T. They played a couple times earlier when he was out with the stomach virus. There's a miss by Butler and picked up by Tim Duncan, his first rebound tonight.
Tony Parker looked like he got hit in the eye. Right now is a little danger time for the Lakers. This lead in double digits. Duncan getting it deep in the lane. Is going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
San Antonio dug the #1 team in the Western Conference. The Lakers right now in the 7th playoff slot.
See Parker right there. Looked like he got hit in the eye by an inadvertent hand by his teammate, Tim Duncan. Again, it's an important game here tonight for San Antonio as they continue to sort of work themselves through the NBA. This little rodeo trip that they have, it's a nice break for them. They win tonight. All of a sudden, they've won the first couple games. They get a chance to go home, regroup, rest a little bit, practice. before they have to head to Charlotte on Monday night for a game there Tuesday, and then they go to the Wizards on Wednesday. So tough back-to-back.
Spurs 5 of 6 from the line, and the Lakers are 2 of 4. Here's Los Angeles shooting 50% from the field. Mim is short. A second rebound by Duncan. Lakers have started 2 of 9 in this third quarter. Brent Barry is in the game for the first time in the second half, and Duncan nails one from outside. He's got 13. Tony Parker's 14, leading all.
Get a basket. Normally out of a timeout like this, you'd go to a healthy Kobe Bryant. He's not playing. Probably Odom on an isolation at the top.
And he goes against Oregon. And a rebound by Tim Duncan. And Ori for 3. Number 48% shooting for the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Rebounding. The Lakers have a 3-rebound deficit so far. Lamar Odom. And out to Jermaine Jones for 3. And the Lakers have not hit a 3 tonight. And they've missed their last 5 shots overall.
Well, the Lakers average 24 points a game from behind that three-point line. They average 8 makes, 22 attempts, which is third in both categories. There's that little cut into the lane by Tony Parker. Great pass by Brent Barry. And right now you see the precision of San Antonio starting to take its toll on the Lakers.
And they'll put Tony Parker at the free throw line. He's coming off a 17-point, 10-rebound performance against Seattle. Atkins picked up his second foul. Next Thursday on TNT, it's an exclusive doubleheader. Game 1 featuring the Lakers at Detroit. And in Game 2, the Sonics will take on the Sacramento Kings. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on TNT. Spurs have their biggest lead of 14, notching a 15-point lead right now.
Chucky Atkins has been very quiet tonight. I think he's going to have to start looking a little bit more for his shot. Kevin, he'd only taken 2 shots in the first half of this game, playing such great basketball. They need somebody to find that basket.
Luke Walton is in for the first time in the second half.
See right now the Lakers a little bit into that triangle offense that they were so famed and for with Phil Jackson. Frank Hamlin has put some of the options in. He calls it the overload. He doesn't call it the triangle. He calls it the overload. But actually Kobe Bryant went to Rudy T about midway through the first part of the season and said maybe you can put a little bit of the triangle in to give us a little more ball movement. So Kobe very pleased with that.
And Tim Duncan is hot as the San Antonio Spurs have started 7 of 11 in this third quarter. And Duncan has 15, 7 of which have come in the third.
That 3-point lead went to 17 real quickly. Here's Chucky Atkins. I think he's going to have to do more of that. They need somebody to give them a lift, and he's been shooting the ball so well.
Atkins has 6. He's 3 of 5. Game high 16 by Tony Parker.
Oh, what a pass.
What a pass indeed, and Duncan caught it in mid-stride, and Tim Duncan has a game high 17. Tony Parker has 7 assists.
You can just see these guys have played so much together now. They just know where each other's out on the floor. That's the value of experience and playing with a teammate for a long period of time.
Atkins with the drive, and you talked about it a minute ago. He's got to do something to kind of manufacture some offense for the Lakers.
Yeah, he's got to jumpstart his team right now. They've locked into Lamar Odom, and also Caron Butler's got to get his offense going.
And Parker again kicks it out. Barry for 3. Good! And the San Antonio Spurs have built a 66-48 18-point lead, their biggest tonight.
This is sort of like that show Nip and Tuck right now. They're just sort of getting to wherever they want it.
I got to question your TV viewing habits in a drive by Chucky Atkins. Last time we did the Spurs, you talked about the personal life of Tony Parker dating some actress, and now you're talking about another show.
Well, here's a beautiful give and go to Duncan. So, you know, you get that play, you get a layup, and then he comes back and dissects the Laker defense with a pass over to Brent Barry for a 3. A little nip and tuck, you know, just doing a little cosmetic surgery here on the Lakers as that lead is ballooned to 18. Jack Nicholson there in the background. I'm sure Jack is wondering what's going on with his Lakers. I don't know if I've ever heard it as quiet in the Staples Center as I'm hearing it right now.
Rose picked up his first foul, and here's Chucky Atkins at the free throw line. And the San Antonio Spurs have outscored the Lakers in this third quarter, 23-9. And look at the third quarter dominance.
Well, those are all the areas that we talked about before the game, and we'll get a chance as this game continues to go on. But the areas that the San Antonio Spurs have been dominant all season long, they're starting to take control. That's why they're taking the lead.
Spurs, of course, off to the best start in franchise history. Look at Parker zipping around that floor and finding an open Bruce Bowen. Rebound by a hustling Malik Rose. He gets the offensive board, and he gets a new 24 seconds for the Spurs. Timeout taken by San Antonio. That's Greg Popovich, who has his All-Star Weekend exclusively on TNT. Well, the San Antonio Spurs have kicked this game wide open. Slava Medvedenko is in the game for the first time. He is guarding Tony Massenburg. 17 points by Duncan leading all scorers. And Tony Massenburg, 34 years of age, one of the oldest players in the NBA, finding two.
Well, one of the things about the Spurs, they've done it in a very unspectacular fashion. That's the way they play. They do it with defense. They run out. They move the basketball. They get open shots. They execute. And that's why they're the best team in basketball. Nothing frilly, nothing fancy. They just get it done.
Lakers shooting 49%. Offensive rebound by Brian Grant. That is a foul. It's inside on San Antonio. A loose ball foul on Manu Ginobili. And on Manu, that is his second personal foul.
You know, Kevin, we talked to Mitch Kupchak a while ago. Cheryl did, and they've got an interesting trip coming up. You have this game tonight. It looks like they're probably not going to win this game. They go east for 5. Of those 5 games, probably Atlanta is the only game on that schedule where they will be favored. Then they come home and play Utah. So this next 7 games is going to give them a lot of direction of where they're heading. Are they going to be a playoff team or not?
Walton against Brent Barry. Rebound by Luke Walton. He has missed some time with a sprained left ankle. And because of his active play inside, gets a foul out of the defense of Tony Massenburg, who picks it up for the San Antonio Spurs. Number 2 on him.
Well, there'll be 38 games left in the Lakers schedule after tonight, and 24 of them will be on the road. You see the teams with the most road games. The Bulls have a very tough February ahead. The Clippers win tonight in Memphis, a good win for them. The Mavericks, who are playing very good basketball. Those are the teams that have the heaviest road schedule as we start the second half of this year going towards the playoffs.
You didn't even talk about the owner and his daughter.
What's that?
You didn't even talk about the owner and his daughter.
Oh, I was...
Forget the schedule. Let's talk about what they're talking about.
Focusing in on that graphic.
Coach.
Detail-oriented, you know me.
I know you very well. Ginobili. San Antonio is shooting 50% for the game. With a dribble drive inside, there's Jeannie Buss, who is well known to be dating Phil Jackson, who, by the way, as we speak right now, is swimming in the Indian Ocean with his
Luke
former
Longley.
Chicago Bulls center, Luke Longley, trapping lobsters and enjoying the sunsets of Australia. They've got some decisions to make. There's no doubt about that. Malik Rose at the free throw line.
You know, we really should take the time, too. We have not wished our best to Rudy T. You know, one of the most beloved coaches in the league, wherever he's been. Players love him, coaches, everybody. Hope he's doing well. Get that energy and passion back. And I miss seeing him here tonight. There's Mitch Kupchak. Mitch has had a lot of tough decisions he's had to make over the last 6 months of his life. It has not been an easy road for him.
Chucky Atkins over Massenburg. San Antonio is +5 in rebounding tonight. They've led by as many as 19 points, which is what they're up by right now. Rose driving his way into Walton and Medvedenko. And it goes on Slava Medvedenko for the second time. It has been a very volatile 6 or 7 months. Of course, they lost the finals to the Detroit Pistons, and Jackson resigned 3 days later. Then Rudy was hired in mid-July. Shaq was traded to Miami. Kobe was re-signed. Peyton was sent packing to Boston. And Rudy T resigning yesterday. And
still no word yet on Karl Malone, what he's going to do. We have not mentioned his name, and a lot of speculation if he is going to play this year, maybe for San Antonio. No decision has been made in any way. But the clock is starting to tick on Karl. He's going to have to make his mind up here real soon whether he's going to retire or whether he's going to play.
10th consecutive game the Lakers have played without Kobe Bryant. 5-4 in his absence. Nice knockaway by Ginobili. Scooped up by Massenberg, and a pass Ginobili to Brent Berry, who comes flying off the wing on the other end. And this is the biggest Spur lead, as they are shooting 63% in this third quarter.
All with defense. And if you want to see the difference in the Spurs teams from the past and this team, the speed, the athleticism, the easy scores, they used to not get those. They do now.
Well, as Greg Popovich was telling us, we've got to have defense to get things done on our team.
Well, it's interesting. What were the Lakers shooting at halftime? They were shooting 56%. They are now shooting 46%. So that means this quarter, they're probably shooting in the 30s. I guarantee you Popovich went in at halftime and he said, guys, 56% ain't going to get it done. They're 4 of 16 this quarter. They forced turnovers. They've gotten out on the break. Their defense is their calling card. It has been since Tim Duncan and Popovich have been together, and it's always going to be that way.
Lake Rose picked up his second foul for Coach Greg Popovich. NBA TV is your all-access channel for everything basketball. Tune in every morning to NBA TV Daily and NBA TV Fantasy Hoops. For an in-depth recap of tonight's exciting NBA highlights and fantasy implications. NBA TV, all day, all night, all basketball. And Medvedenko picks up the foul.
Medvedenko has really been struggling. He was a pretty good part of that Laker team when they won championships. He was the guy they could bring in off the bench and score some baskets for them. Fit very well in the triangle offense, very comfortable with that. And this year has sort of been a lost season for Slava.
And Ginobili knocks down the first free throw shooting. The Spurs have missed one. They're 12 of 13. Brian Cook with 3 fouls in the first half for check-in. Medvedenko, Lakers tonight from the stripe, 6 of 10. There was a great quote in the San Antonio Express News a couple days ago from Greg Popovich. He says, I do see similarities with this team and the past 2 championship teams we've had in 99 and 03. I thought that was a pretty revealing statement halfway through the season for a coach who is not known to lend himself to comments like that.
This is a better team. They got more answers. They're better on the perimeter. They're more athletic, create more opportunities, good balance, good depth.
Across the lane, Ginobili and Massenberg is left free to fire. Grant a little bit slow on the defense.
This has just been a dismantling in this period. You know, Kevin, I got an interesting question for you. If you took the best player off of each team in the NBA, if you took the best player off each team, would that team make the playoffs?
Walton fighting inside. Ginobili. We do it at the beginning of the next quarter.
Yes, I want you to think about it.
Brent Berry again jumping out, got the feed, and that time it was Malik Rose. Beats the buzzer. Caron Butler puts it in to conclude a dismal third quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Now, and interesting here now with the fourth quarter for the Lakers from Frank Hamlin. I'm sure what he's going to want is a competitive quarter out of his team before they start that 5-game road trip. Finish this game strong. Be professional.
San Antonio shot 72% from the field in the third quarter. Not a single turnover. And with 6 to shoot here, Rose takes it in and finds 2. He has been terrific tonight off the bench. 14 points, 6 rebounds in 20 minutes for the Spurs. Leading scorer with 17, Tim Duncan, who hurt his knee in the second quarter. Hyperextended it, came back in, had a dynamite third quarter. Brian Cook nails it from 2. And for the San Antonio Spurs, Udrich is in as he battles Chuck Yankins right there. Udrich is in with Brent Berry, Rose, Ori comes off the bench, and Ginobili is in. Those are the 5 to start the fourth for San Antonio.
Well, if you are Greg Popovich, you could not have written a better third quarter script. Duncan came back and played after tweaking his knee, had a very good third quarter. Your team was terrific. You can now rest him the rest of the way. You don't play again until Tuesday, and you know Duncan's okay. So it all worked well. You see Duncan and Parker talking to each other as they're enjoying this game. one of the things that's happened with the Spurs this year is they're winning so much in the fourth quarter. A lot of those guys are getting a lot of rest, very much like what happened in Chicago with Michael Scotty when they were winning the championships. They set out so many fourth quarters, kept the minutes down.
How about Malik Rose? There was a fourth foul moments ago on Caron Butler. And Ginobili gets the assist there for Rose. The fourth foul just put on Brian Cook.
Let's give Malik Rose a lot of credit tonight. He's come in and been ready to play. Wasn't pouting, wasn't sulking, didn't play a couple games. He's been ready, and this is the way you earn the respect of your teammates and your coaches and everybody else that follows your team. You come in and you play well, and you just respond, and that's exactly what he's done tonight in a very positive way.
He now has 17 points. That is a season high. Atkins with Odom, who feeds to Walton. And he got two right there. Cook and Caron Butler. That's the five out there for Los Angeles. Nice assist on the play from Lamar Odom. First foul goes on Brent Berry. In a game that the Los Angeles Lakers dog have led for only 84 seconds. The last lead was 12-10. It's been San Antonio ever since.
Kevin, you spend a lot of time around the NFL, obviously doing games, and you said something very interesting today. You said this is the NFL version, the San Antonio Spurs. We see Ori lay the ball in the basket of the New England Patriots. From top to bottom, front office, the way things are run, Popovich, Belichick, very, very similar to the way they run their team. It's an interesting analogy. It's a team, no question.
That's the word. They're a team.
Now, they're a team that's got a great star in Duncan, and two of them are, look at this pass.
What a pass by Ginobili, and Udrih caught it mid-stride.
We've seen two or three of those passes tonight from Ginobili. We saw one earlier in the game. It was our little telestrator of the game to Parker.
Brian Cook for three, and he shoots a lot of three-point shots.
He's been a pleasant surprise for the Lakers this year. If he now can just be able to learn to put that ball on the floor a little bit and get inside and pull up and shoot the jump shot to go over that long-range shot, he's got a nice quick release.
San Antonio, the best record in the NBA, 37-10. Number one in the Western Conference. Walt to the trailing Caron Butler and a foul.
How about it's interesting, though, Robert Horry goes for a loose ball. Now, Robert Horry's got championship rings for about every finger on his hands. Dives for a loose ball, up 25, and watch who helps him up. Now, watch Horry dive for the loose ball, and just keep watching. Tim Duncan gets up off the bench to help him up. You talk about team, that's what you were talking about right there.
Berry drew the foul. Here's Butler at the free throw line. Lakers came in 5 games over 500, 24-19, 7th in the Western Conference.
The Lakers will be fortunate to come back 500. After this next trip, they're going to have to play well. They don't play well in Atlanta. They've gone down even with terrific teams and lost in Atlanta. And they better hope they get this guy back real soon, Kobe Bryant.
Again, this is the first official game in the absence of Rudy Tomjanovich, who resigned yesterday. He had missed the previous 2 games with a stomach virus.
Yeah, those 2 wins that Frank Hamlin got, we see Brent Berry launching up the 3. The 2 wins that Frank Hamlin got in his absence go on Rudy T's record because he was the acting head coach at that time.
Ginobili driving with impunity but couldn't get it to go. Here comes Lamar Odom. Atkins for 3. Rebound by Walt. Ginobili steals it. 3-on-1. Berry trying to scoop it up for newly instated Devin Brown.
Look at Greg Popovich's face.
Ticked off.
They're up 23, and he's not happy after that play.
He wants a timeout.
I guarantee you what he's going to say is, guys, we're not going to get sloppy now, okay? We're not going to play that.
Points for Duncan, 17 points for Rose. Those are the 2 high scorers in this game. Devin Brown after that San Antonio timeout. Udrih. Atkins defending him. Knocked away by Rose, and a foul called on Malik Rose.
Now, Udrih got hit on the way up. Joey, looking at Joey Crawford. Joey's not going to give him that call, but Udrih has been struggling with a little bit of a sore shoulder. Talked to Pop before the game. He said he feels like he's about 95% healthy and should be 100% by the time they finish up this trip.
Rose has 3 fouls. Here's Lamar Odom. And he was fouled again. Was Rose guilty? I think he was inside.
Look at the team the Spurs have on the floor right now. It's like the 6'5" and under league out there. You got Barry, Ginobili, Udrih, Malik Rose, and Devin Brown.
Rose picked up his 4th. And here is Odom at the free throw line, where tonight he is 1 of 2. The Lakers from the stripe have gone 8 of 13, but they've missed 8 of 14. And the Spurs, 14 of 15, and the Spurs are not that good a free throw shooting team.
72%, which is 25th in the league. Last year they were the last at 68%. I think when you look at the Lakers too, it's going to be interesting when Kobe comes back. Can he and Odom get that little 1-2 punch that they're going to have? I didn't think those guys were really in sync as they played together to start this year. Will they be able to find a way? Odom needs the ball, Kobe needs the ball, that they can bring out the best in each other, because they're only going to go as far as those 2 players can take them together. They got to make these other players better.
Lakers shooting 47%. Another turnover. That's the 16th for Los Angeles. 52% shooting for the San Antonio Spurs. Mismatch against Cook. Screen by Rose. Brown. Udrih for 3. The Lakers have a 5-rebound deficit in the game. Atkins with the drive. And in. Is it Udrih who drew the foul? I think it was.
Yeah.
It's the first on him.
Yeah, Udrih is not on top of his game. We've seen him earlier in the year where he's played exceptionally well. Tonight he is struggling, not making his shots, and seems like he's about a half step behind tonight on all of his moves.
Chucky Atkins at the line. Tomorrow night ESPN gives you the Pacers and the Dallas Mavericks. And Minnesota taking on Houston. Saturday on NBA TV, Orlando and Cleveland. Sunday on ABC, the Lakers in Houston. It's the national TV schedule.
Looks like the Detroit Pistons starting to make their climb up the Eastern Conference. They've won 6 in a row after we've seen them. A big win in Washington the other night, so they've taken command of that Central Division right now. They lead, which is important. They now have the 2nd seed in the East, so they've moved up about 4 spots in 5 games.
28 has been the biggest lead tonight for the Spurs.
This is one of those games right now with 7:10. You'd like to be able to just have a running clock because nothing good is going to happen in the last 7 minutes. I'm telling you right now, this is, in the words of Marv, garbage time at its finest.
That is a big diamond in that guy's ear. Atkins with the drive. Working on Tony Parker. Atkins says they get it down to 18. Come on, we can make a little run here.
Well, Atkins has picked his game up. We spoke of that a little bit. He now has 14, so he's continuing his good play.
Tony Parker with the drive and the kick, and Barry across the lane. And he throws it away with the turnover on a no-look pass. Picked up by Butler. Here's one. Great pass inside. Luke Walton to Lamar Odom. And the Lakers on a 12-0 run.
Well, if you're Frank Hamlin, you're happy your team is competing. They're not rolling it in, continuing to try and make a game of this.
Devin Brown. Offensive rebound by Rose. Spurs have missed their last 7 shots. And Parker kicks it out. Bruce Bowen in the game. Walton was fouled by Bruce Bowen.
Lakers have made some nice things happen with their defense. We spoke of the ability to make some things happen, force some turnovers. A nice pass from Luke Walton. We talked about his ability to pass the basketball. He gets fouled on the play, going to the free throw line, so has an opportunity now to cut this lead basically in half from 28 to 14.
Walton has played 24 minutes.
Frank Hamlin told us he was going to get him in the rotation. He was a Phil Jackson favorite in that triangle offense last year. Had not played a lot this season. I expect him to play a lot going into the second half.
San Antonio's won 3 straight and 7 of 8 games, beating the Lakers in the 2 previous meetings. Another San Antonio turnover. 5 in the quarter.
Well, as well as the Spurs played in the third quarter.
Antonio for a long time, so he used to get tickets from all of his Judge friends, and I mean, I was going when it was George Gervin and Artis Gilmore and all those guys playing ball over there.
See, even what I don't understand is why everybody's making such a big deal of just staying in your business.
My business. Hell,
Why is
yeah, my
everyone
business.
making a big deal?
Because I've always been a Spurs fan. I'm from Texas. I'm just a Texas
Tony
girl
Parker.
in LA. And I love this team. I love this team.
You know what? You don't need to explain anything to me. Inquiring minds, stay out of my girl's business, all right? Big Spurs, little Spurs. She's a big Spurs fan. Back to you guys.
Well, had Doug Collins not opened his mouth a couple weeks ago, you like let the cat out of the bag that gal and Tony Parker are an item. And then, of course, in every magazine, every show for the next week, TNT's Doug Collins says this. So you and Pat O'Brien now have become these big celebrity guys. There's a miss by Tony Massenburg. 17 points by Duncan, 17 points by Malik Rose. Those are the game high scores for San Antonio. 18 for Odom is a game high. Ron Butler missing a 3. As Luke Walton goes diving for the ball, working with Ginobili on top of him. They call the jump ball.
Now, great hustle by Luke Walton. That three-pointer would have made it a 9-point game. Still over 5 minutes to go in the game. The Spurs are going to have to right themselves. Well, Tim Duncan's been sitting over there for a long time. I know that Greg Popovich does not want to bring him back in the game.
Well, the Spurs led by 28. And here comes Parker quickly the other way. Atkins in his way. Rebound by Luke Walton. San Antonio has missed their last 9 shots. And Atkins drives inside.
There's no shot blocking in the game right now, so if you are the Lakers, just continue to drive that ball to the basket. You're shooting free throws. A 10-point game. Give the Lakers a lot of credit. They fought themselves back.
Parker, count it, and a foul on Atkins.
Now Chucky Atkins is very upset. He felt like that Parker leaned in and created the contact. This is a big call instead of an offensive foul. Let's watch. Boy, that looks like that Tony Parker created the contact. Could be a big three-point play that would stem the tide of the Lakers. They had cut this lead down to 10. Chucky Atkins is just breaking the defense down at will right now. The Spurs getting in the lane, playing with a tremendous passion.
10-point game and plenty of time left. Massenburg's screen. Devin Brown for 3. Rebound for Odom. He's got a double-double tonight. 20 points and 12 rebounds for Lamar Odom.
Chucky Atkins looking to go to that basket. That's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. But look at the hustle.
Odom. Oh, what a play by Lamar Odom.
Isn't it amazing what energy and effort and passion will do? I mean, Tim Duncan is standing there on the sideline. This is a bad shot by Brian Cook, but Lamar Odom not quitting on the play. The powerful finish. Look at the Kobe reaction. This crowd is getting into this game. This is the way the Laker team has to play. They have to play with this kind of energy, Kevin, every single night. They're not going to come out on the floor and overmatch anybody physically, but they have to play like this every single night.
7-point game. Lakers haven't led since 12-10 early on. Tony Parker flies in for 2. He's got 20 points. That is a San Antonio high. Atkins rejected. by Ginobili, who picks up the San Antonio foul. And that is the fourth on Manu Ginobili. They're going to bring Malik Rose back in the game.
Look at the fourth quarter points. The Lakers plus 16. Free throw line, steals. What I like is the steals. Again, they've got to create opportunities. There's no reason in the world this team should not be able to get out on the open court and create some steals. They outscored 29-13, make that 30-13 after being outscored 37-15 in that third quarter.
Spurs lead the Southwest. Lakers are in third place in the Pacific, behind Phoenix and Sacramento.
The only guy scoring right now is San Antonio is Tony Parker. Let's see if they try to get Ginobili maybe with an isolation at the top of the floor.
And they do, and it drives inside, crushed by Cook.
Manu Ginobili is fearless. What I love about him is, you know what, he got hammered. He doesn't stare anybody down. Watch it, just lays himself out at the basket. He's going to get up and shoot his free throws. This incredible game against Phoenix. Phoenix was up 17 at the end of the third quarter. In Phoenix, Ginobili single-handedly took that game over, ended up with 48 points. The Spurs came back and won that game in overtime.
Some may ask, why isn't Tim Duncan back in the game for San Antonio?
I think that Greg Popovich is saying, you know what, guys? And right now they're in a situation where they fought themselves back. I don't know that they can climb uphill and win this basketball game. They're down 9-3 something to go, but Frank Hamlin can build off this kind of effort.
Duncan remains on the bench. 23 points, a game high by Lamar Odom. And there is a Los Angeles foul. It goes on Caron Butler. Devin Brown grimaces as he is up to his feet. Butler's got 5 fouls in a game that has seen the Lakers shoot 49% and the Spurs an identical 49% from the floor. Duncan watches. He was injured midway through the second quarter. Came back in the third quarter, had a monster third quarter. He's got 17 points, 5 rebounds. All those rebounds in that third.
When you look at the San Antonio record on this season, when they shoot 45% or better, the Spurs are 30-1. The only game they've lost is to Utah. That's an amazing number. We see now the Spurs playing a little zone, trying to slow Chucky Atkins down from all those penetrations.
Lakers are 9 of 14 shooting in this fourth quarter. They trailed by 28. They've led by 2. The 2-point lead, their last one, was 12-10 back in the first quarter. As we all know, sometimes you expend so much energy to get back into the game, there's nothing left in the tank. Brown, that's a 2-point try. Offensive rebound by Rose, and that was a big rebound by Malik Rose.
Well, when you play from in behind like they have, I mean, you have to play a perfect game. You can't give up second shots. You can't turn the ball over. You have to make every shot. And they're just going to come up short, but sure not from the lack of effort in the fourth period.
Malik Rose put in a very good game tonight with a season-high 17 points. Good fake by Brown. Won't get another offensive San Antonio rebound.
So you figure 3 24-second possessions, so they're going to burn over a minute on this one possession.
15 offensive rebounds tonight for the Spurs. That has been huge. Tony Parker. He can be an assassin. He's got a Spur-high 22 points.
Well, he's made every big shot here at the end of this fourth quarter. As the Lakers have made their little surge, it's been Parker who's come up with every big basket. The driving layup, the little bump in the lane where he had an opportunity for a three-point play.
You know, you said something in the last segment before that break about Popovich wanting to leave Duncan on the bench, let this team fight out of this little bit of a bump. They've done that. Duncan has remained on the bench. He told us before the game that he uses these road trips to bond this team and to let them rely on each other and not always looking for, well, who's going to bail us out now?
No question. And, you know, they could have put Duncan in the game at the 8-minute mark and probably ended up winning this game by 20 points or whatever. But little adversity is good. They don't play again until Tuesday night. They can go home, get a little rest, practice, and head then east to finish up the trip. But this is what you do as a coach, is you put your team in a position to play through adversity and see how they're going to handle it. It's going to be a lot tougher roads than they're going to have to go through the Lakers. I can tell you that as the season wears on.
Doug, the record says they're the best team in the NBA. In your mind, is there any question as Ginobili launches a 2 and it's a beauty, and he's got 17? Is there any question in your mind that they are the best team?
No question. When they're healthy, they're the best defensive team. And again, we see Cook load up the 3. But they're a much better offensive team. They can beat you off the dribble. They can get to the line. They just lost some concentration tonight, and the Lakers took advantage of it for a period of time, but they fought themselves back.
Great pass, Ginobili inside. Tony Massenberg. Offensive rebound for Rose, who's got a double-double. A season-high 11 rebounds, a season-high 17 points.
Well, the Lakers are going to have to do a much better job on the defensive backboard than they did tonight. The second shots finally took its toll.
Go inside, and Malik Rose continues to impress. 19 points in 28 minutes.
I just watched Manu Ginobili play. I could watch him play all night long. I just love the way he plays the game. He's so unselfish. He's a champion. Won the gold medal. I know he's looking forward to possibly getting the chance to play in the All-Star game, and Greg Popovich will coach his first All-Star game with this victory tonight. Seals the deal over Mike D'Antoni, who's had a terrific first-half run with the Phoenix Suns.
Parker Short, a 16th offensive rebound for San Antonio. And a win. The Spurs have the best record in the NBA, 38-10. They've won